Yeah, it's been a rough couple of weeks. So as I mentioned, I've had quite a bit of bad luck the last 2 weeks. It started with my aunt passing away unexpectedly, and it wasn't a family member that I was super close to, but you know, you still feel it. It's still sad. You know, and it still bothers you. So that's kind of when it started. And then the day after that, I was out on a road on my brand new motorcycle and caught something in the back tire, and it's basically destroyed. I have to take it to the dealer later today to get the tire replaced. I only have 250 miles on that bike, and I already have to get a new tire. And those tires, as some of you may know and some of you may not know, they're not cheap. It's probably, you know, it's going to cost me about $500 for that fix. But don't worry, it doesn't end there. Then about 2 days after that, somebody rear-ended me while driving my truck. And so the damage isn't bad. Everybody was okay. It's just mostly bumper damage, but and my hitch was cracked, so I can't pull anything. So I'm actually currently driving my dad's truck right now, and more on that here in a minute. So yeah, so my truck, I've had it less than a year. It's one of my favorite things. I've always had older trucks that were not running the best, and I finally was able to get a newer truck, and I absolutely loved it. And so it was just, you know, these things happen, but it's a shame that it's got to be one of the things you like, you know, one of the possessions you like the most. Has to be it. And then a couple days ago, I did something with my arm. I think it's my tricep. I think it's either, I don't think it's tendonitis. I think it's either strained or I have a small tear. And you know, I am into like health and fitness, and so I do work out. This injury happened on a rest day, getting out of my truck after work. So it didn't even happen doing anything cool. I like to keep an active lifestyle. I like to be out. I can still go on my walks during my lunch breaks and do running on the weekends with my daughter and stuff like that. But I can't really do much weightlifting or anything like that. And so it's definitely bothering me. You know, and part of the reason why I am so into health and fitness is that, so over the last 15 months, I've lost about 100 pounds, and I'm a lot healthier now. Obviously, you don't lose 100 pounds and be less healthy very often, unless there's like a medical issue. I don't have any pressing medical issues, but I was then. A lot of those things have been fixed just by losing weight. So, you know, so when you've accomplished something like that, and maybe some of you have had the chance to be able to accomplish, you know, weight loss like that, and understand that when you do that, you change, like your brain changes. Like, I want to be more active. I don't want to sit down and play video games all the time like I used to. And I do sit down a lot for work. I have a desk job, and so I like to be, when I'm not working, I like to be up, active, and walking around, and you know, and I try to do strength training probably 3 to 4 times a week. And so it's really driving me crazy that I can't do that, and it's only been a few days. So that brings me to what we're doing today. So today, mid-April 2025, my grandfather has a cabin on 80 acres up in the middle of nowhere, on the southern tip of Lake Pend Oreille in northern Idaho. He hasn't been able to be there to check out the place at all during the winter, because the roads and trails that go up to that area, you can only have tracked vehicles only. And he's getting older, so he's not really doing much snowmobiling anymore these days. So he's just been chomping at the bit. He's been wanting to go up there to check the place out, and he's got game cameras all over the place, and he wants to check on those and look at the pictures. And so but he doesn't want to drive his side-by-side up there by himself. You know, it's not, especially with the road conditions in early to mid-April, there's still snow on the road, I'm pretty sure. So you know, it's not smart to go by yourself, and that's totally reasonable. So I am nervous. Not just because of my streak of bad luck, like will my CFMOTO finally die, but I am nervous because of the road conditions a little bit. There's usually snow kind of later. It could be into May, before, like I would say mid-May, before the roads are you know, really decent enough to travel on with like a car. Like if you had like a jacked up truck, you could make it through earlier, but it, you know, it's not the funnest. And with side-by-sides you can, but what I hear happened on this particular road is that some guy went down, I don't know if he used his pickup or if he rented a piece of machinery, but he wanted to plow the road, but he set the plow 2 feet high. So he just plowed everything above 2 feet and only did single track. So if you're driving or riding something down the road and something's going the other direction, you know, you're kind of stuck with berms on each side. Yeah, questionable decision. Is it legal? That's a good question, because that's a Forest Service road. I don't think you're supposed to like take it upon yourself to, I'm just gonna plow it and take care of the problem. I don't think you're supposed to do that. And you can also damage the road, which would piss off, I don't know, pretty much everybody in North Idaho. So yeah, I'm a little bit nervous about that, because I can imagine that 2 feet that he didn't plow is gnarly. I can just imagine that it's just going to be really gnarly. And if you've watched any of my content before, I have an older video from a couple years ago when we first got our CFMOTO, and I think it was actually my first like major ride, where we went up to the cabin to check it out like my grandfather likes to do, and it was still a lot of snow on most of the roads there, and that was pretty gnarly too. And but we made it just fine. He hasn't gotten me stuck yet. The old CFMOTO has been pretty great. So I'm expecting it'd probably be similar to that ride, except for nobody plowed the road on that, so I don't know. So we're gonna find out. But I'm excited. It is raining, so I might not be able to fly the Mavic 3 Pro too much, but I'm just hoping that going, you know, out into the mountains, getting some fresh air, riding the CFMOTO for the first time this year, that it's just going to kind of improve my headspace a little bit. Well, so what did we learn today? Well, nature has a way of being healing. You know, one thing I've been reminding myself, and this is something that I have been trying to teach my kids lately, that it is a blessing to be uncomfortable. When you're uncomfortable is when you grow. So, but it's easy to say that to other people, whether it's your kids or it's people at work, if you're a manager or a leader. But it's hard to apply that to yourself sometimes. But yeah, it's a blessing to be uncomfortable. When you are uncomfortable, you grow. I guess that's the meaning of the last couple of weeks is you know, sometimes you just have bad luck. Sometimes you can feel down about things, but it's how you respond. Because at the end of the day, except for my aunt passing away, most of the bad things that have happened to me were monetary things. You know, my truck getting run into, I got to pay a deductible on my insurance, or my tire on my motorcycle has a piece of metal sticking through it, and I got to buy a new one of those. Money comes and it goes, but that's not really what's important in life. I am healthy. My arm's hurting, and I can't work out very much right now, but that's okay. I'm still strong, and I am still healthy. I have an amazing family. I've got a great wife. It's easy to think about things in life that bring you down, but it's important to remember and to be cognizant of all of the blessings that you have in life. And it's a blessing to be uncomfortable, and it's a blessing to grow and learn, and it's a blessing to live life. So maybe that is the lesson in all of this. Maybe you just need to get out into nature sometimes, go have an inland Northwest adventure, even of a small kind like this, and you realize just how truly lucky you really are. I mean, look behind me here. You got Lake Pend Oreille. It's still raining, so you can't see too much of it. But yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to this channel for more inland Northwest adventures. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel. And until next time, be safe and get uncomfortable. See ya, everybody.